All right, man. So first of all, man, how you doing, guy?
Man, I'm fantastic, man. I had a little bit of news yesterday, but we bounced back.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I already know about that news. That news.
yeah. That's another episode that you should
Yeah,
podcast, man.
you ain't even lying. You ain't
Man,
lying.
I don't want mind
Uh,
talking about it.
man, but really, this is the first late night episode on relationships. Exclusively for relationships. And this episode, we're gonna do it on love and there's many love languages. And for me, it's been my experience. I'm 32 going on 33 next week. And
Mm.
love has just been one of those things that has has been a self-discovery mission for myself, finding my own self-love, and also a thing that I've learned to identify in others to see if it's actually love, genuine love they're sharing with me.
Right,
So, I wanted to bring you in on it, man, because we've been knowing each other for some years.
right. Well,
And
definitely.
every time, I'm going through some, you going through some, or we come across some friends or family that is dealing with something, we kind of like sit down and have that discussion. And so, when I sent you the different languages on love, just to start with those, what did you think about the five love languages to start with?
Well, man, I mean, all of them are important. Of course, like I said, the you talking about like the physical touch and the quality time and things of that nature, active
Go ahead.
services. Yeah, man, all
Yeah,
that
finish,
just
finish the
comes.
rest of them. Finish the rest
Yeah.
of them.
Okay, so words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Like I
Man,
said, all are important and all what you want to do for your spouse and you want to. When I read it, man, the first thing I thought it was like, okay, well, how do I want my spouse to communicate with me?
hmm
So that's how I want to communicate with my spouse. And using all five of those, I would find ways to go ahead and communicate with them. Let it be physical touch or quality time or something of that nature. You know what I mean?
so I mean, for you, let's just start off with our own. I know for me, quality time is a huge language that I communicate with, and physical touch, because in a sense the two of them go hand in hand for me, because if I'm spending quality time
Right,
with you, I'm probably gonna be able to physically touch you.
right.
And when it's one without the other, then that's when communication becomes necessary. I've never really had like a long
That's
term, I mean, a
very,
long,
very true.
I mean, it is. When I don't have that physical touch there, then communication becomes more stronger, or it becomes more of a necessity. And so
Mm.
words of affirmation then become something more important to me, because I'm not able to spend that much time to touch. And so what about you? What would you say in your situation?
I was gonna say I agree with you 100%. And
What's going on, Shard and Kenny?
I'll give you an example, man. Me and Ashley, we have the kids all the time.
Yeah.
And so because we weren't actually being able to have that quality time together, it actually messed up our communication process because we're always so busy working around the kids, we don't have quality time to actually even sit down and process, what's going on and how to communicate effectively, because like we're still like here. And then when we finally went out, to dinner together, and got a hotel and everything, man, it was the physical, like you said, it was the quality time, the communication was on point, the touch was on point. You know what I'm saying? So that, I think, really for me, it's quality time spent, because that's what you're there for your partner for. You can do active service for anybody. You can give a gift to anybody. Physical touch, not so much, but like you said, the physical touch and quality time go hand in hand. And words of affirmation you can do for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yes, like you said, those two main things are going to help you and fuel your relationship as
Man,
far as communication. You know what I mean?
I feel that. I feel that. Look, anybody on IG listening, so what do y'all think is the most important thing for y'all as far as the five different love languages? They have the acts of services, gifts, quality time, physical touch, and what's the other one? What's the other one? And words of affirmation. Is either
Right.
one of those like something that y'all feel is any different than ours or believe is any different than ours? Because, you know, everybody communicates a little differently.
And not to stop you, but I like quality of time. It says actions to take. It says create special moments together, take walks and do small things with your spouse. Weekend getaways are huge. You know what I mean? Like, again, that ties into what I was saying earlier, man. Like, just creating those little small, like special moments. Like, not too long ago, like, Ashley brought me a big ass, not even a plate of nachos. It's like a deep dish of nachos. Like, I don't get that anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's different. That's like something I'm gonna always remember. Like, instead
Yeah.
of just a, you know, the regular plate of nachos or something like that, or you know, me surprising
So
her with
what
cats.
what makes people get love languages fucked up?
Because they not they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how they want to be. They don't know how. It's either they don't know how to communicate or they don't know how to reciprocate people communicating with them in a certain way because of their own, you know, past relationships with other people.
The amount of trauma that we all bring into freaking relationships is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I watch it so many times with myself, and I've actually learned to not even get involved with partnerships anymore until I literally scream the person to be a friend. I'm like, man, we got to go through phases now because people, as soon as that physical touch happens for most, they erase all boundaries and they start living by expectations.
Right.
In my experience, you know, I don't know if other people experience that, but I watch other people dealing with that. I'm like, they have absolutely no boundaries, but they're able to have this sexual connection, and that's the only time they're able to communicate good is when sex is going on, right after it or before it, and then
Well,
after that they have
I wonder
piss
if
poor
that's anything
communication.
wrong. I wonder if there's anything wrong. Maybe they just like the physical touch and they don't really want to communicate any other way.
Man,
You
now that could be
know what
true
I'm
too.
saying? That could be something too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, like I said, I like the physical touch, but I prefer the quality time over the physical touch. Quality time comes first, and then the physical touch, you know, is right after. So, you know, some people are just like, I like the physical, I don't really like the quality time. You know what I'm saying? Spent, but I'll physically touch you.
Wow,
You know what I'm
wow. Like
saying?
so, it's like
And look, I don't give gifts, but I like receiving them. You know what I'm saying?
the,
Because they can't communicate that type of run. They don't, you know what I'm saying? But they can, I don't know. Well, I do know what I'm talking about, but you get what I'm saying.
no, I feel that. And so
Yeah.
you say that it could simply be people could have this miscommunication, you know, in my eyes, because they might simply not have any other language in common except that physical touch. When it
Right.
comes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
I can dig that.
Definitely.
And so is that risky or is that toxic or I mean what is that?
So
Or is it
again, it
nothing?
depends
Is it
on how
nothing
the
at all?
person
It can be
communicates,
perfectly
man.
fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Is it risky? Is it toxic? Is it nothing at all? Like what is it?
I just depends on how that person communicate, man, and how, like I said, they can understand somebody else talking to them in a way. Like, again, I like receiving gifts. I don't like giving gifts. You know what I'm saying? Acts of service is one of those. I don't like doing chores. Ashley likes doing chores. You ain't gonna see me like all the time doing chores or work all the time. So that's where like that difference is. But we've learned to. It's not toxic because we've learned, like, she knows me. Like, I don't like too much of cleaning up, but I will. You know what I'm saying? But she knows that's kind of like her thing, like receiving gifts. I'd rather give her gifts than she gives me gifts because I don't really like receiving gifts like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying. But she likes receiving gifts a little bit more, um, you know. So
So, you know, let's look at why so many love languages are misunderstood because I hear you clearly looking at your perspective, but let's look at in general why
right,
so many people struggle because I mean the divorce rates are still over 50% or close to 50%, right?
right.
And
That's
so I'm wondering
right.
why so many adults are having this trouble and these challenges with communicating. If
Expectation, bro. You
you
said it
know,
earlier. You said it earlier. Expectations, man. Expectations fuck up a lot of things. Excuse my language. Messes up a lot of things, man. Again, there's no communication if you're expecting things. You're just expecting it to happen. You're assuming. So that's where people got it messed up.
And so, do you think it's fair to have some sort of expectation when you're in a relationship?
No, I don't.
To put that
No,
out
I'm
there?
not going to go in no relationship. I just met this person. I'm not going to have no expectation because as soon as they don't meet that, and it could be one small thing, it could be something so small. And man, speaking of something so small, once this is kind of off topic, but like I stepped on something
This nigga
that
always
stuck
do.
my. Uh, I stepped on something that stuck my foot, and my whole body felt it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So something so small, something what I'm saying is something so small can affect you on how you feel and how you think and how you react. Because that's that
Mm,
thing that thorn that I pulled out was super super tiny, but it hurt
yeah.
my whole body. You know what I'm saying? It physically messed up my whole body. So anyway, I'm saying that to say, damn, what was I saying? I was just trying to make a point. Um,
Sound like you're trying to make the point that something small can still create a big impact.
Correct. In both situations, whether good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Again, oh yeah, the expectation. It can be so small to me it's so small, but it makes well, it's a small thing that they're doing, but it's a big expectation for me because I don't want that. So since I don't want that, you know what I'm saying, it's already a done deal. Like I
Name one
can't deal with that.
name one thing in a relationship that sometimes is an expectation that some people,
Oh,
just have for their partner.
like the number one like thing, like sex. Like some people wait to have sex with that person, which is very understandable. But some people have like they'll wait a long, long time, and that's like just the physical touch kind of deal. That's a love language, but a lot of people don't either they're not following it or they don't want that right then and there, or that's just not their thing.
Let's look at sex because I mean that's one of my favorite topics to even talk about,
Man,
because
we men, bro.
that's the thing that I see that paced a lot of relationships. Whether you got problems or not, I often see that if sex is established or good enough or it feels good enough or great enough, sometimes we have the power to just overlook other stuff,
Right.
and I like sex being that pace because when I'm thinking about sex or when I'm analyzing what it actually does for me, I kind of see, okay, like I'm kind of satisfied as long as I'm satisfied in the bedroom. Because for me, I like to go just as much as the next person often,
Yeah.
often. But there are also times now that I'm getting older, I'll be like, sometimes I don't want to. I don't care. I'm good,
hmm
you know.
hmm
But I've come into situations where I didn't want to have sex at an older age with a younger woman that I was dating. And it was kind of different to me because as a younger man, I would be in positions where one young lady might be like, I don't want to have sex right now, or can we just cuddle, stuff like that. But as I became a little older, I'm going on 33, I'm now like, I don't always want to have sex just because. Like sometimes I would like to preserve that extra energy and zeal I have. You
Yeah,
know,
you want the quality time. You want to spend quality time. It goes back to all the love languages. You're not you change your love languages over time. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
You're not gonna be stuck in that same like everything for me was words of affirmation. Like when I was 20, like that was for me. And what that is encourage, affirm, appreciate, empathize, listen actively. Like that was one of the things that I like mainly look for. You know what I'm saying? But
so
now
like one of yours was also different when you were younger as well.
right, correct, correct. But now, like I said, now it's about the quality time, and after that, getting the physical touch, and everything else is just kind of, if it comes, it comes.
Man, I like that, man. I like
So
that.
we just change over time. We change the way we view relationships over time, and of course the people we have sex with, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be because of past history with your past lovers or however that goes, or you know.
As a younger man wanted older women, as an older man want younger women. it's like the like place I'm in right now. But some of those situations you can't deal with someone who has a mentality or a mind the same as you deal with someone else. And I say that to say I have learned not to expect, just to keep my expectations, I've learned not to expect anything from anybody, especially my partners, because I've seen the lack of communication trigger me when I wasn't well informed or fully informed. And so when I'm not well informed or fully informed, I see it basically as a instruction. I don't see it as something I've made a decision on. I'm
Right.
gonna be a part of.
I get what you're saying.
And same for me. Like I try my best to communicate with my partners now, ask them about things, and I don't expect things. Sex, even as much as I want it, I don't expect it anymore, because I know as an older man who wants to have sex, they're willing to have it just as much as me. And who doesn't want to have sex, those people are probably having sex with someone else that they're sharing that intimate moment with already. And I've just learned how to accept that for myself. It's not like I'm walking around out here with a whole bunch of virgins who are not having sex. I have learned as an older man, the reason why I don't want to have sex with some women, because I'm cool having sex with people I'm already having sex with.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
and I guess that comes along with that maturity, because as a young man, I felt like the need to lie to get sex. I mean, have you ever felt like that?
Yeah, I think we all have, man. And
It's
can't
crazy.
people lie? They can try to lie about it all they want to, but that's
It's crazy.
again,
and it's not even worth it at the end of the day, right?
it's not worth it. And then, but you know what's crazy? It's crazy to add on top of that. Some women at that age was looking for that. They were looking for to be lied to, because that's one of the ways that some people communicate. But we ain't gonna get into that right now.
I mean, that's a part of the role playing that we
Right.
can get into.
Right. And yeah, you can call it role playing if it's not lying.
Well, we call it out. We call it a game, don't we? So,
yeah, there we go.
Like you got the game here. We call each other players. If you're getting a bunch of women, or if you're getting a bunch of men, we call them players, playettes, however we want to, label it. And so we use these different metaphors to kind of label things that we do in this society. And so, as the older I got, and the more that I wanted to date more women, and I was attracted to more women, and I was really focused on, basically making more money, growing my business. I wasn't really focused on having a wife or a girlfriend. And that's only because I started seeing, like in society, it's way too easy for the device to give us access to so many different people. And that can be a positive or a negative. Now, for me, I guess you could say I take kind of like a pessimistic route. To me, I believe in my situation, because I'm not necessarily young, but I'm older, that I don't jump into commitments or relationships, because I think of everything as long term. Sometimes I have a problem with being in the present, which you know very well. I don't know how to enjoy the present moment. And so thinking so far in the future, often I analyze my relationships, and I'm like, how can we be committed to each other if you're having fun right now, but I know when you're not having fun, we want to be together. And so I just looked at the last years.
That's a struggle on its own, man.
It
all
is.
All has to do with communication too at the end of the day.
It is. And I looked on the last few years of my own personal life, and I was like, like everything that I would say that I had a bad fallout on a relationship, it was not only because of communication, but it was really because we really wasn't invested in one another.
Right.
Like, so sometimes
fully. And a lot of it, and you know what a lot of it also comes from, is not communicating the truth to somebody else because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. Man, yeah. So that builds expectation, because you're thinking that the person's gonna change without you actually just telling them, like, hey man, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? And if they respect you enough, they'll understand, like, you're saying it from a good perspective. Like, you're not trying to harm them. You're just like, hey, I don't like this, or I like it like this. This is how I was, I can compromise with you about this situation, but this is how I view it. You know what I'm saying? And most people don't want to do that because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings and then blow up. And now the partner's confused, and they're like, well, I thought we was good this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Just flipping out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, there's no communication. You know what I'm saying? So now there's clash,
It seems like it's out of nowhere, but really it's just something that built up.
Right.
because of the lack of communication. So like you say, just to keep the bridge, the lack of communication led to that expectation. Because
Right.
now that I'm not communicating what I want, I'm expecting you to know what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
watched that in myself so many times that I eventually just started to voice how I felt. And sometimes people say the truth is hard, and I had learned that as hard as the truth is, people respect it,
And
and I respect it. People like the
that's
option to have the
that.
truth told to them. And for those
Yeah.
that don't like the option, it at least gives you as a person the clear conscience to know, like, all right, I said what I need to say, I did what I need to do.
Right.
But you still have that conscience that makes you say, like, damn, I don't want to hurt this person's feeling, but at the same time, I don't want to be sitting in regret either.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
that.
And
Yeah.
so
I was gonna add, the truth can't get you in trouble.
the
I
truth can get you in trouble. I like that. I like that.
was gonna say that earlier, man. The truth can't get you in trouble though. You said, like I said, as
It's
long as
real.
you're being truthful and because you know what place you're coming from when you're being honest. You know what I'm saying? And how it's supposed to be carried. And if you're talking about a relationship with somebody, you know how that person is a little bit because you're in a relationship with them or you're friends with them, or so you kind of know how to approach it. You know what I'm saying? And some of this communication, it sucks when communication, like me learning visual communication, is not almost the same. But I like to take a communication class, and a lot of
Mhm.
it has to do with tone of voice, man. Like tone of voice. I know my tone of voice sometimes gets me in a lot of trouble. So you know what I mean? I'm just kind of tying it with the trying to communicate. Like it all goes in a factor. You know what I'm saying? The way that I try to talk to somebody might come off a certain type of way because of my tone of voice, and that breaks the communication for the other person, especially if that other person doesn't know exactly how I'm trying to voice my opinion.
Do you believe that people's ability to communicate in person is oftentimes different from their ability to write and communicate through text?
Oh man, we have. I can talk about that all day. Yeah, anytime I text anybody, it never, it never goes because I'm a lazy texter, right? So people are looking at my text like, oh, he ain't even trying to like respond and stuff like that because that's the first thing that people think. You know what I'm saying? If you just text like one word or something like that. But if you talk to me in person, like we're doing right now, I can talk to you all day. Like it's just word for word for word for word. But in the text message, man, my message, me and Ashley's message gets lost
Mm-hmm.
because we'll say something to each other. I'll ask her, like, is everything okay? She'll be like, yeah. And it's like, well, are you sure you're okay? And she's like, yeah, I just told you yes. But she really is okay. But me, I'm like, man, this is why she just telling me yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like,
yours is words of affirmation in some senses.
fresh, right. Most
Yeah.
definitely. You know what I'm saying? So, but I've learned again back that coming together, you know what I'm saying, and getting to understand her more. Like I had to lower my expectation on how I felt like that communication process was supposed to go. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I had to lower the expectation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not willing to do that because they're like, no, the last time I did this, then this happened and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And it's like, no, man, you just gotta give it a second chance. You know what I'm saying? You failing to realize what not to do again, which is understandable. Don't make excuses for it. And
Yeah.
don't make everybody seem at fault for what you're trying to do to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother conversation we need to have but yeah, that's it. That was it
I
on
like
that.
that. No, I dig that, man. Because it's often because of, if I don't know my own love language and I don't learn yours, you almost set this requirement for people to understand you before you even attempt to understand them.
Right.
Would you agree?
I do agree with that. 100%.
And oftentimes what I see right now is people demand for someone to love them, but they don't necessarily project love onto others.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing that I read in a book, the 29% solution, it talks about giver's gain. And when I learned about giver's gain, I learned about people who learn how to genuinely give out of their heart and to other people, to those who need it in times that they need it. Those people end up gaining things later on in life randomly, but
Right.
at the same time by fate, because they have made something happen in someone else's life that transformed their life. And so what ends up happening to you is the same thing.
Right.
That's the healthy way that I would see relationships working.
Mm-hmm.
What I do see is people meeting, collaborating, and saying, okay, I'm going to stay shielded and protected until you show me that you love and care about me. And when I can see that
Mm-hmm.
you love and care about me, then I'll let my guard down and care about you. And this is not just women, this is men too. It's
Right.
going on both sides of the field. I
Right.
just think us as dudes, we might have a different way of protecting ourselves. What I've done is the way I've crawled into my shell, no matter how communicative I am to a woman, and I give them the impression that I want to be in a relationship, the shell I crawled into is I won't commit. I will literally tell you, go talk to other dudes before you tell me you want to commit to me. Because I have my own trauma that I'm dealing with. And my own
Right.
trauma is I don't believe when a woman says she loves me, because every time I've had a girlfriend, they've convinced me to be in the commitment, but they broke up with me. So now my trauma is women don't know what they mean when they tell me they love me. Not every
Right.
woman,
Right.
every woman I have chose has led me to believe that. And so
Right.
now I would rather have the trauma of losing you to another man than the trauma of thinking you want another man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
you gotta
know?
be. I've noticed to be free spirited about it, man. As far as like getting into those type of things, like you said, yeah, like like a lot of people,
What's
like
good,
for
Keith?
example, man, I'll give you an example. Like if your partner wants to do stuff with other people, they know that you're not all the way comfortable with that, if that makes sense. But they do bring it to your attention, and say like, hey, I'm trying to do this. I want to let you know. That's cool. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Instead of hiding it behind closed doors and just always having that, because people will not just be honest with people. Again,
back
they
to
will
the
they will mask themselves and say, well, this is how I want myself to appear. And like you said, the other person has to keep showing them and showing them, and keep breaking the shield and breaking the shield and
yeah.
breaking the shield, so they can finally get to who the person is. But by that time, that person's gonna be broken too. Now you
Different way.
swap. Now you swap. You know what I'm saying? And you just go on a whole different. So you're never gonna win in that type of situation. The person that's trying to show that person that they can love them, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
doesn't even know that they're losing in the love language that they're trying to present to the person.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And
So
then so that faults them from the love language, like you said. Like you can't believe that a woman loves you right off sight. You got to let them make sure for themselves that, you know what I'm saying, if they want somebody else, you know what I'm saying, you don't know how to differentiate that. They will change eventually. You know what I'm saying, when you start talking to the women that you're more attracted to, or things of that nature. But as of right now, this is how you feel. You know what I'm saying? It really, whether right or wrong. Like if just some people like receiving gifts but don't like
what's
giving
good,
gifts.
Bernie? Give us some feedback, man. We'd love it. Give us some feedback or something, man. Throw it out there. We want somebody, and we want y'all to interact and engage with us.
Man,
I'm
that's
sorry to
bad.
cut you off, bro.
No, you good. Now that's pretty much it. That was it.
So, so tell me this, because it sounds like what I heard from you, and correct me if I'm wrong. When we're protecting ourselves or attempting to protect ourselves, and we say we're going for love, or we're looking for a partner now, or the one, while you're protecting yourself, you're actually jeopardizing your ability to communicate your love language.
Yeah, because you're not being open. You're not letting people know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I like you, and I like other girls right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not just you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but people can't communicate that because, again, they're so scared. And you know what I'm saying? And then that other person is just like, well, again, I like this type of way. But again, you have to show me before I even show you my full self. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just, you put those two together, it's automatically just gone. And then you talk about why their relationship failed. And one of them's really, really trying. And then the other one probably might feel bad and be like, okay, I feel like I've been letting this person try to break my shield too much. I probably should help him take some of the shield off, or help her take some of the shield off. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And present myself to them. But like I said, through trauma, man, and past experiences and things of that nature, man. A lot of people can't get to that.
Yeah, back to just givers gaining. And so in my own failed relationships, it's humbled me because it's so powerful when you want to grow and change and be better. Even when you fail, you get opportunities presented to you to do better. And so
Right.
taking my relationships, I don't even call them failures. I might have failed to those women in their eyes, but they've each time provided me with the keys and the tools to be actually a better, greater man. And the powerful thing is I'm able to take those keys and those tools to the next person that's open to having that relationship. But what I end up also realizing is that in the midst of that, I'm protecting myself from what the last person did to me while I'm using these new tools that I learned from
Man. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean by that. Yeah, that hits. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
My boy Burners, he say, are people equally yoked, man? If not, what's our foundation for growth? I like that. Good question. Good question.
And I can't answer that right now. It's too deep.
I like it. I'll
I
comment.
like it.
And so I think the reason we're bringing up the love languages is because to me, when I believe you speak my language, you understand me. So now you've left space for me to do things differently from you and say things differently from you because we communicate differently. It's not that we have less of a love for one another, but
Right.
it's that we've left that space in that room. Sorry, my computer is about to die. We've left that space in that room for somebody literally to say, my foundation, man, this is so good, Bernice. My foundation with this person is the way we communicate. And the way he communicates is physical touch. So I know to touch him when I'm nearby him. And so when I say him, just imagine this being your lady or whatnot. She knows to touch you to communicate with. She knows that you like the physical touch and intimacy. In my case, physical touch and intimacy, the only way for me to get there comfortably in my language is the quality time. And so when I can tell you're spending your quality time with me and it's reciprocating, then it makes me want to touch more. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that would be my foundation. My foundation between those two things, I kind of have room for my partner to be who they are. Because at that point, I can now study how they communicate. My last partner, I would say their communication was words of affirmation and physical touch. But I spent so much time protecting myself, I didn't learn that until after she was gone. You know what I mean? And so I faced my own consequences with that, so I've learned to not even down talk or attempt to not disrespect my partners because I think I've dated some amazing women. We failed in this portion of our relationships. And I will take the lead and say, I failed in taking the first step in showing a better way to communicate. It's just, I don't know, but I mean, I do know.
No, you know.
I do know, actually.
No, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, T, give me 1 second. Pause. 1 second. 1 second.
Bernice, man, what would you say your foundation for growth would be? Myra, we had a great conversation about just relationships and communication with Sherry the other day, and I love just how deep we can all get and go with those. So just to keep it even going, man, that's my foundation for growth. And for those 5 different love languages, I also started to study where love came from and how we started to use that word in particular. And what I came across was, a lot of our society is mirrored after Greek and Roman mythology. And what that is idealized society. And so when I say idealized, I say the Greeks used the word love, but they also had many different interpretations for it. And with these many different interpretations, you basically had many different outcomes.
Like
So
relationships.
exactly, like relationships, for example. And so I'll just start reading the different types of loves in Greek, and one of them was agape. And agape is what they call the highest and most radical type of love. And I guess that's the most powerful one that we all preach, that we say, oh, you got to have unconditional love. And it's what is taught by many of the, let's just say, masters or teachers, or in churches, for example. But what our society shows us continuously over and over in media, with entertainment, is what I see is eros. And what eros is the idea of sexual passion and desire. And it involves a loss of control through the primal impulse to procreate. And it's a passionate and intense form of love that arouses romantic and sexual feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like, what's crazy is I go to church, and church teaches me to love unconditionally, using this word love. But then I go outside in society, I listen to music, I watch movies, and different things, like simply going to the club, and sexual attraction is the peak of love, not this agape love that's taught. And I'll let you comment here shortly on what you think about that, specifically eros in our society. But just to name the other ones, we have pragma, we have ludus and storge, and we also have philatia, which is a form of self-love. And so what I want to know is, what do you think about us literally going from the church house and being taught about this agape love, this highest form of love, and then here in society we see continuously and over broken relationships going in and out of eros love? What do you think about that?
Man, that's
Probably was a mouthful, man.
man, look, that's what I was like, man. I mean, to I guess what I want to say is, man, everybody has like their own interpretation on how they feel about love, and so I guess that's where, like you said, we've been taught in the church to have unconditional love. Like you said, when you get out in the open world, or just you learn other ways to love people in different ways. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways to love. Whether, like they said, this would be a physical connection, or just a mental connection, or an emotional connection.
Yeah.
It just
Burnett
depends
say,
on what.
my man Burnett, he say it's a battle between flesh and spirit, I think.
It's definitely that. It's definitely that, because that's, I mean, and that's what the church teaches as well. Because I mean, again, like, it's okay to be physical within the flesh, but that's that spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's carrying you to want to do that. Is it good or bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to actually have sex with this person for? Is it to better yourself, or is it to better them? Is it to better both of y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you looking for when you go have sex with this person, or when you go out with this person? Like, is this if is it for self love? You know what I'm saying? Because if it's just for self love, again, that's nothing wrong with that. It's just be honest to the partner, like, hey, this is just something I like to do. You know what I'm saying? This is just the way I like to love people. I like to love different women at different times, or I like to be with one woman at one time, or however I want to love, but that's how I love. And a lot of cultures and religions don't teach, they don't teach the same way to love. You have to go through different people to learn how to love in different type of ways, which is good, because again, that brings the confirmation on how you can view the way that you want to be loved, because now you're finding out different ways to love, instead of that one unconditional love that
Yeah, I like that. A damn good example. And so I guess that's why you can say that even the Greeks discovered, ages ago, that love is many different things, not just one thing.
we.
And so how in this day and age, I guess there's a two-part question, how and why do we take for granted how to love one another so much, but we get in the bed with one another so fast?
I mean, so shit. I don't know. I haven't been in that. I haven't been in that. Well, again, because I don't know, man. Some people think like the physical fixes everything, and that's the way to talk. But sometimes that doesn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta at least talk to you about something. Like we can't just argue and then have sex and then
Hmm.
that fixes everything because we both physically feel good, but mentally we're not there. Emotionally we're still not there. Physically we feel great. You know what I'm saying? But we're still unstable with each other in a different type of way to love each other. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you think in some cases, some people just love don't really even matter? As long as the
Love no,
physical,
it's
as long as
not
the
even
physical
that.
works.
Love is just different to them. Not that it don't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody wanna be loved. Everybody
Well,
wanna be loved.
in some higher societies or in some higher earning classes, people don't marry for love. They marry for it's like a business arrangement. They
I don't want to get
marry
into
to
that because I
keep their
heard
wealth. They marry to keep their
that.
wealth together. They
Mhm,
marry for profiting and creating a
mhm.
larger generational wealth. They don't
Again,
marry
that's so.
necessarily because they love and like each other. Um, I I've seen that most profound loving and liking each other in working class and middle class or working class and lower class. But people who have something to lose and assets, they typically find something else more than the physical to attach to make that business arrangement work. Because if you're always worried about who your partner's sleeping with or who they're gonna sleep with, how do you make a business work?
Right. How do you make a relationship work? How
Yeah. How do you make a
do you
relationship
make a
work?
relationship? And then if that's how you feel about that person, then you feel like everybody that you get into a relationship with is looking at you that same type of way because that's how you view love. That's how you view really the relationship. So you think that
Ooh,
everybody else views it the same way until they tell you,
man, real.
man,
Bernard say, in the last days, men will become lovers of themselves.
man.
Elaborate on that a little more. I think I know what it means, but it could mean something else too.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a double-edged sword right there.
Yeah. Like, ooh, I don't even know what to think about that.
Yeah,
Um, but I feel that. I feel that.
yeah, man. And I do apologize, man. Man, we got to do a part two. I got the kiddos.
Let's do it.
But I'm willing to answer some more questions, of course. I was just giving you a heads up, of course. Everybody know I got kids.
We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up here in a little bit, man.
No,
So,
you all good, man. You all good.
we'll have
I'm enjoying myself, by the way.
a part two on the discussion. But
Got you.
what we could do to wrap it up on the love languages and its many different styles is one of the things I like to ask everybody is what makes a house a home to them, and that could be one word to you, or that could be a sentence. But
Man,
what makes a house a home in your words, Dwayne?
just family, dog.
Family.
Family, bro. I got a family, man. So,
Okay.
like I said, if you live by yourself, then it might be different for you. It might be a clean house or something like that. But I got kids. I got beautiful girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then for me to come home to family, it's like the best thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes my house a home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I like that a whole lot because I do know you as a family man, and I learn a whole lot from you as a family man. I don't have children, and so even watching you and having the chance to watch you interact with your kids, with your
Mhm.
partner, is something that I take notes on because
I appreciate that.
having a family is something I want to do one day myself. And
Mhm.
so I like that family is. I can see that how family is one of the things you would say for sure. Tell me this: what's one thing that you are not willing to sacrifice in your relationships?
One thing I'm not willing to sacrifice.
And I think you mentioned it multiple times, but I'm wondering if will it be different from my assumption or
Uh,
expectation?
I'm not. One thing I'm not willing to compromise. Um, I don't know. What was you thinking? Because I might be able to like, okay, agree with you, and
Sure. So I say for me, I'm not willing to compromise the willingness to understand. You know, for me, I've worked really hard because I have a short temper to communicate how I feel and what I think and what I believe. And so
Mm,
in communicating that, I work really hard to also understand my partner and what they want and how they
right.
operate and what they think and feel. And so when I don't have the space in my relationship for a partner to have the willingness to want to understand me, I don't feel safe and comfortable in that situation. And so for me, I'm not willing to get in a relationship that doesn't grant me that space to have the willingness to understand me before they get mad in a judgmental way and biased way, going off their perspective but not considering mine. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Okay. Yeah. That's definitely. Yeah. That's definitely. My. That's a pet peeve, really. That's more of a pet peeve of mine. Uh.
It could be.
Yeah. I won't. I won't sacrifice being silent in that moment. I guess that's what that is. It's like, no, we got an issue. Like, we need to at least talk about it. But at the same token, it is rubbing off that some people are different. Some people need to take time and process what they are angry about, because they might not even be angry, or
Okay.
they might not even be upset, or they might not
Right.
even be emotional. They just probably got something on going through the day that kind of like triggered them acting the way that they are, at the time being. And again, it messes up for the other person, because it's like, man, well, it seemed like you were doing well, and then this happened, and now it's like, well, what's going on? I want to talk to you about it. But that person is, like I said, trying to process in their head like what they're exactly upset about and what's exactly going on in their head. You know, and so again,
And so, what
that's
would you say that it is that you wouldn't sacrifice? I didn't quite hear your answer.
oh man, I wouldn't sacrifice. Man, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of all over the place. It's all. I think I'm just like thinking of things that I just wouldn't like to do. But again, I always have a contradicting statement that goes against it, because, like I said, it's just all about being open. I don't know. I
Okay,
can't answer it. I don't
okay,
know. I'm
that's
so
fair.
open. I'm
That's
too
fair.
open. I'm too open. Like I can't. I can't. I don't know. I'm willing to sacrifice anything for my home. So it's like I don't know.
Well, not
I
for your
can't.
home. What are you not willing to sacrifice in your relationship? Was the question.
Oh,
What are
in my
you not, what are
relationship,
you not willing to sacrifice in your
I
relationship?
don't. I even for that, man. I'm too open. I'm willing to sacrifice like things, because again, like if you don't, man, you'll find out that you gonna run into that shit again, and it might be
Hmm,
10 times harder. It might be better for you, but you gonna run into it again, and you gonna have to handle it the same type of way that you were supposed to handle it the first time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
got you.
again, man, I sacrifice it just to see what the outcome is gonna be. If that makes sense. I don't know. I don't
Huh?
know.
Your sacrifice is situational.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
very
like it. I can
situational.
I
Yeah, in
can
a
I can
relationship,
comprehend that.
very situational. Yeah,
I
most
can
definitely,
comprehend that. I can
most definitely.
comprehend that.
So I
See,
tried.
no, it's all good, man. Man, I'm gonna let you go. But is there anything that you would say to help people? Is there any last words you would give people about love languages?
Just be open and be direct with your partner or whoever that you think that you like or who you want to date and stuff like that. You don't need to have no mask on, because you're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? It's not you'll realize, thinking of what you think you like and trying to spread that to other people. Somebody might give you something that you don't even know you like and spread it onto you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's yeah. So you're looking at this person, you're like, oh, this person likes, like, for example, like, or like this person likes horror movies. I don't know if I like horror movies, but then you end up watching a horror movie with that person. You might get more into horror movies than that person that was in the horror movies or something like that. You got
Yeah,
shit that would never come about. I'm just giving you an example. You know what I'm saying?
I
Or
can see that.
yeah, I don't like Napoleon ice cream, but I ate Napoleon ice cream with this girl, and she took me to the spot. I had a good Napoleon ice cream. Now I love Napoleon ice cream more than her. And I wasn't open to it before. So again, that's just those are very small things. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about bigger things. Those are just very small. You know what I'm saying? So um,
Open.
I
I
would
like.
just say I would just say be open, man. You have to be open. You have to be open, like, and you have to be understanding when people are upset. You have to understand, like, either Either you're gonna get upset with them, or you're gonna try to communicate with them. Is not communicating. It's not communicating because you're communicating what you don't like. You're not communicating what you like and what you're trying to accomplish between the situation at hand or what's going on in your relationship.
Gotcha. Good one, Mary Lou. I like that. Not sacrificing your peace.
Man,
Mary Lou said she wouldn't sacrifice her peace. Hey, right back at you, Bernice. Right back at you, King. Next conversation you're gonna have to jump in on with us. We're gonna have to invite you in. And look, on the cool, would love to have some ladies in on the next one as well. That would be, I think, just a great perspective. You know, us as guys, we don't know what y'all think and feel. You know, we think we know what y'all experiencing. So it would help if any other ladies want to jump in next time. Make sure you check, hit my notification. That way you get when I go live. Where, you know, people might not know you, people might know you, but for my friends that don't know, you know, Dwayne is an artist here in Austin. He does a lot of freehand drawing as far as cartoon style, but he also loves to work with, I want to say, is it CGI?
CGI animation, yeah, visual effects, yeah.
Yeah, and so you know he does graphics, he does designs, he can do designs for business cards, designs for logos, things of that nature. And so if you're thinking about anything along those lines to do with some designs, you give Dwayne a shout. He also makes beats. You know, he's a very talented man, many different skills. And so one of the beats that he got to me that I always enjoy just jamming to, one of the instrumentals. I don't have to say, I don't own the rights to this because it is mine. I do own the rights.
But you can play it because it's mine.
Because he made it for me. Yeah. And so, you know, if you need any of those beats, you know, he can connect you that. Or if you know any artists needing beats, he can connect them and, you know, go from there. So, you know, we'll wrap up the discussion, man. I'll let you get back to the family. I appreciate you for taking the time out.
Appreciate you letting me having me on the show, man. Like I said, we're doing part 2 very, very soon.
Yes,
very soon. And we'll make sure to have more time, man. We'll make sure to have a little bit more time.
That's cool. This is going to more than likely be an ongoing discussion, man, because, you know, I want to break out the book on them, Gods in Every Man. That way we could talk about more about the psyches of some of us men.
Is there a book called God in Every Woman?
It's Goddesses in Every Woman.
Goddesses in Every Woman.
Yeah, I got both of them, so I want to get into both of them, and I would just love to have just like a real good discussion. If we can get, you know, 4 to 8 people up in here, it'd be dope.
Man, most definitely, because everybody can get on Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, King. I'll let you go. We wrap it up. We'll see y'all next time. Make sure y'all like, share, comment. You can find Inquiring Mind of Mr. Hopes on YouTube. You can find me also on Instagram at Inquiring Mind. That's INKYRING Mind. You can also find me on Instagram, Mr. Hopes, and Dwayne Square. You can find him on Facebook. Let them know, man. Facebook and IG.
Facebook, Instagram, ATX702. Both. I have a Facebook page that just is really successful. It's basically all horror. Of course, I have my logo thing going on, animation page on IG. So, yeah, man. It's like, again, this is ATX702. Y'all just if y'all need anything, like I said, any logos, any beats, producer, any animations, visual effects, any in your videos or anything like that, just hit me up. Let me know.
Yeah, that's for my realtor buddies too. Definitely with the visual effects, he can get you right on those. And you know, we'll wrap this up, but we're gonna have another one soon. All right, I'll talk to you soon, my man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you letting me appreciate you having me on the show.
Already, man. Look, you know, we're gonna make this an ongoing thing. I think we really need to invite more people in, because I think we're gonna have a new thing going on where I might need you in on more shows, just because I'm a single man, no kids. Mm-hmm. You are a father of 4, and right. So I think our perspectives with some other perspectives will make this a really good thing.
Yeah, again, I mean, we're all communicating, all telling the truth, and we're all like just explaining ourselves.
Peace, kings and queens, man. We appreciate y'all for stopping by.
Sure.
All right. I'll get you later, man.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey.